Hello folks and welcome to this video. We are looking forward to the British Grand Prix. The 75th anniversary of Formula 1 will be celebrated at the home of Formula 1 where the first race started in 1950. Let's get talking about it. And we'll start off with the schedule. I'll include all of them and I'll be giving them in UK time only this time around because, well, we are in the UK for this one. The support package is F4 for an exhibition race, F3, F2. The sessions will start off with F3 practice at 8:45 on Friday, at 10 o'clock F2 practice. Then F1 FP1 is at 12:30, F3 qualifying is at 2 PM, F2 qualifying is at 2:55 PM, FP2 starts at 4 PM, and then you have the F4 practice at 5:45 PM. Saturday will start off with F4 qualifying at 8:10 AM, followed by F3 sprint at 9:15. Then you have the F1 FP3 at 11:30, but before that at 10:25 they'll be doing a tribute to the late Eddie Jordan. F2 sprint will happen at 1:15 before the F1 qualifying happening at 3 o'clock. F4's first race will happen at 5 PM and that will round out the day. Sunday will start off at 8:20 with F4's second race. F3's feature will be at 9:30. F2's feature will be 11:05, and then another Eddie Jordan tribute at 12:35 before the Grand Prix starts at 3 PM UK time. I'm going to quickly recap with last year. It was a Mercedes front row lockout from Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Piastri, Hulkenberg and sixth ahead of Sainz, Stroll, Albon and Alonso. However, the wet-dry race ended up causing chaos throughout the field, with some people making the right call with tyres, some making a slightly less right call with tyres. The McLaren stayed out a little bit too long. Norris suffered a little bit, Piastri suffered more. But the two drivers that benefited most from it were Max Verstappen, who was 1.465 behind the winner, Sir Lewis Hamilton. The first time that driver wins the race on a straight named after them, because I believe the naming of the Sir Lewis Hamilton straight happened after his knighthood, right? Was it there for 2021? I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was great. It was the first Grand Prix win that Sir Lewis Hamilton had after losing the 2021 championship. It's his first win of the ground effect era. And he did it at home in great form. And we could, in theory, see a repeat of it this weekend. Friday is going to be dry. The peak in temperatures 25 degrees, which is much nicer than the 30 plus we were having last week. It would have made last weekend be, if we were having after the F1, it would be a lot more like 2020 or 2013. Tyre failures everywhere. But Saturday and Sunday tell a different story. There is likely to be rain throughout Saturday morning. And then whilst it may remain dry for the time of FP3 in qualifying, it will rain again in the evening. And it will be raining throughout the day on Sunday. There may be some light drizzle around the time of the Grand Prix start, but it is expected to be raining on and off, precipitation as high as 55% at 1 PM. So BBC forecast is saying that we should expect rain for race day. Which, that is going to be very important to keep an eye out for over the course of the race weekend itself. It could be that we see some showers coming in. It doesn't look like it's going to be particularly heavy in the way of rainfall. And the air temperature is going to be a bit lower than what we had last time out in Austria. So it could be a good hunting ground for Mercedes. But we'll get onto that in a second. Because in terms of ones to watch, this has been one of the better tracks of McLaren. I remember the amazing 2023 start that Lando Norris had. I had just flown back from Dublin. I got in my car to drive back for the start of the race. And I just sat there and watched the first lap before heading off home. And Norris's amazing jump into the lead off the start. McLaren have the chrome livery again this weekend. How amazing it's going to look? Well, we'll have to wait and see on that one. I think it's nice when you see special liveries that come back every once in a while, but I also appreciate the special liveries that are only for that year. So, for example, the sort of Senna tribute livery that we had at Monaco a couple of years ago, which was then replicated at the Indy 500 on the same day, as well as one of the McLaren Indy cars for the 500 having the 24 Hours Le Mans winning livery. That was a really nice one to have. V-Car, we've got a special livery, but I think my favourite ever Red Bull kind of livery that they've had as a one-off for Silverstone has still got to be that Wings for Life one, with everybody's faces on it. But, yeah, McLaren, expect them to do well. Don't expect the advantage to be so great because, well, those in the know in F1 reckon that the advantage is greater when the attack temperature is higher. But, yeah, expect them to do as well as they always do. Ferrari could do quite well as well. That new suspension upgrade seemed to be working some wonders. And, of course, expect Verstappen to be near the front. He's good at Silverstone. The car should be fine with the surface and the relatively low elevation change. It's not completely flat, the former airfield, but there is very little elevation change compared to, say, the Red Bull Ring last week. So, yeah, remember the last week, Verstappen got unlucky with the fact that he ended up with an Antonelli into the side of him. Antonelli, who has a 3-place grid drop. So, yeah, it'll be bit less likely that gets repeated this time, though turn 3 is also a right-hand hairpin. Anyways, those are my thoughts, those are my feelings, those are my observations. Thanks so much for watching and joining, folks. I hope to see you again, possibly on Sunday, for the review. But until then, it's bye-bye for now.